So hello there, my name's Dane Lemaitre and welcome to another ERTL collection update. And as you can see here, I've got a few more ERTL characters which I'll talk about. And I've got a few others as well, but them ones I'll talk about another time. But yeah, I'm really pleased to have these ones. So first off, as you can see here, I've got Gordon. And Gordon's one of my favourite characters. He was in the very first Railway Series book as well. And I think this is a great model of him. But as I've said before, a lot of the ERTL ones, scale has always been a bit of an issue, I think, really, with some of them when you put them side by side, the size of them. I've also got the Flying Scotsman in the ERTL range in both styles of packaging. And I've got one out of the box as well. And that one would have come in the original blue carded style of packaging, which again I've got quite a lot of engines in already. But yeah, so this is Gordon. And also the Flying Scotsman. It's Gordon's model but repainted and the face is exactly the same. Not really much of a difference really, apart from the fact that the Flying Scotsman's face is probably a little bit darker than Gordon's. The Flying Scotsman's a special locomotive to me, mainly because I've actually been in the cab, I've been on the front of it, I've been behind it many times, and I got my footage of it on the news. A lot of people say they're not as keen on it because it's not the original one, which I do sort of understand, but for me it's nice to see something in steam, and because I've had a lot to do with it, for me it's quite sentimental. And again, really, I think all locomotives are a bit like Tricker's broom. They've had so many parts over the years. Are they still the same locomotive they were originally? But I do think, detail-wise, this is quite a nice model of Gordon, but like I said, he is a bit out of scale when you put him next to some characters. But at the same time, really, really good detail model all round. And I think Gordon's had some of the best adventures. I particularly like the story Domeless Engines, where he ends up losing his dome. I also like the story Wrong Road, where he believed that Boker actually saved his life when it was just Bill and Ben playing tricks on him. So that's quite funny. And I also like the story Gordon Goes Foreign when he goes to London. But that was only the Railway series, it wasn't actually in the television series, unfortunately. But no, great character and great model. Like I said, I've got Gordon, but it's in a different style of packaging. And it's quite rare to see Gordon in that style of packaging. And then sometimes I've seen them, but then the models have been quite ridiculous in price. Because although I collect them, I'll only pay a certain price for them, really. Sometimes, when people are selling them, they do sell them for crazy prices. And I've got pretty much most of them already. As you've probably seen, I'm sort of into the old sort of Thomas memorabilia. As you've probably seen in my other videos. And like I said, I've pretty much most of the other characters. There's just really just a few sets that I've not got, but the sets, although I've got, and also the mini ones, I'm not as fussed about. I'd much rather have these characters in the boxes. Like I said, I've got them out of the box as well, and if you look on my channel, you can see the ERTL collection playlist. So next off, we've got Bill. And Bill's actually got a twin called Ben. And I've got Ben already in this style of packaging. And then recently, I also got Bill and Ben in a different style of packaging. But I'll speak about them too another time. But I think this is a nice model. But as you can see on the back here, they've left Bill's cab yellow when it should actually be brown. Like a woodette sort of finish. And Bill and Ben are based upon twins in real life called Alfred and Judy. Engines that I've not actually seen before, unfortunately, and I would like to go and see one day. But I do like this model. I think it's really nice, well detailed. I like the face. It looks like Bill and Ben's face in the television series. And also there, that bit there is yellow, whereas you can see at the top there, it should be white. But I do like this style of packaging. I also got Duck recently in this style of packaging, but I've not discussed that yet. I will do another time. And some of the engines that come in that style of packaging come with the models that come with the sticker faces. So yeah, now I'm pretty much just collecting the ERTLs, in different styles of packaging. Although some of the models are slightly different. So like next, for example, we've got the Troublesome Trucks. And these trucks have the old coupling system, whereas the other trucks I've got the new style hook system, U-hooks I think they were called. And as you can see here, this truck here at the bottom the one with the eyes open, has got its coupling on the back, meaning that it would be facing backwards. But however, on the other style of box, it's got the couplings on the front, meaning this truck will be facing forwards. I've never seen like that before, so I don't know how rare it is. But I do like the faces on the trucks. It reminds me of the faces of the trucks, again in the television series. It's very rare. Again, I've seen the truck in this style of packaging, or again, if I've seen it, it's been quite expensive, so I've not normally tended to bother. So we've got a nice description card on the back. I do like this style of packaging, and it was done by an artist. All the animations by an artist called Owen Bell, and he did a lot of the annuals and other merchandise as well. So, and again, I do quite like the Troublesome Trucks, and also another Troublesome Truck. So again, the one at the bottom there, with the eyes open, came in a pack with Scruffy as well, which I've got. So next off, we've got Scrap Trevor. And again, as you've probably seen in another video, I do have Trevor already, but the packaging's different. And something else that's different with this model, you can see Trevor's not entirely that weathered, because like you can see his black funnel on that, whereas on his other model that I've got, he's a lot more weathered. It's basically just Trevor's other model, which I've got, but just painted brown. And so is this one, but like I said, this one's not nearly as weathered as you can probably see compared to the other one when you put them side by side. And again, I like the animation. And in the animation, Trevor looks quite cross. It's very rare you see Trevor cross. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Trevor cross before. Sad sometimes maybe, but never actually cross. And I like the wagon that he comes with. It says "Save from Scrap" on the side. And again, Trevor's always been a character that I quite like. You know, there's been moments where he hasn't spoken much, but then he's been in the magazine stories. So never really entirely forgotten. But I do like Trevor. And it's funny, they do this model of Trevor as he was, obviously when he was Scrap, and then obviously after he was Safe from Scrap. And obviously you've got Sir Handel, he was originally called Falcon, and they brought out models of Sir Handel as Falcon and Sir Handel, and the only difference was the nameplate. Obviously when he was Falcon it said Falcon, when he was Sir Handel his nameplate said Sir Handel. And obviously last time as well, you probably remember I spoke about Lord Harry. Lord Harry's an engine on the Sodor Mountain Railway, well, Culdee Fell Mountain Railway, but in real life his base has worked on the Sodor Mountain Railway. And I saw it there last year, and a few times I've been to the Sodor Mountain Railway. I do love Sodor Mountain Railway, so I recommend that when you can, you go there. You can't just buy a ticket on the day, though. Sometimes you can if you're lucky, but most of the time you have to book in advance. Quite a nice line, I recommend you go to. You know, I really like it there, particularly on the steam engine. And I went on one called Widfer, which is the basis of an engine called Wilfred. But like I said, Lord Harry, after his accident, he had his name removed, and he was known as Number 6 for a while. Then he came back as Patrick, and again, but then, like I say, the ERTL range shown as Lord Harry, but it's like D7101. When he first come to Sodor, he was painted blue. And then when he was allowed to say, he was painted green, the proper high net colours. But like I say, ERTL still release him as D7101. They don't call him Bear. The only real merchandise, again, like I say, I've really seen before, is the surprise packet, which I showed you before, where Lord Harry's known as Patrick, as he was named after, when he helped save the climber. And D7101 is known as Bear in it as well. But obviously that was Railroad Series related, so I guess it had to show them as their new names. But also as well, I showed you Lord Harry, and I do quite like him. And I've got Culdee and Godred as well, which was two other engines on the railway they released in the ERTL range. But I think Lord Harry's definitely a lot more popular because he's got a metallic version of him as well as the normal one. And as well, on the Lord Harry I spoke about last time, I noticed he had a new item sticker on him, which I found a bit strange. And also in the ERTL catalogue, which I found on someone else's YouTube channel from 2003, it said him as a new item, which I thought was a bit strange because he isn't new. However, also I've got this ERTL poster, and on the ERTL poster there's an activity and it says, can you guess the names of these new characters? And it showed him new there, but then say if you look on some of the adverts, which I've only just sort of noticed really, on some of the ERTL adverts, the magazines and that, it says about characters being relaunched, so maybe Lord Harry had just been relaunched. But I mean, I've already got him out the box as well. Maybe just the fact that they'd relaunched him, they put him as a new character by mistake. I don't know. It's a bit strange that he's got the new item sticker. And the last few sort of characters only come out in this style of packaging and have the new item sticker on them if they were new. You know, so that's quite special, really, quite rare. And again, if you look at Lord Harry, he's got one of the new coupling systems, the U-hook. So his model is slightly different to his other one. And like I say, he's got a metallic version as well, which is shinier, so a bit different. As much as I love the ERTL mountain engines, I think part of the problem with them is, though, is that their boilers don't slope down. The mountain engines, their boilers slope downwards, because I'm not an engineer, but the reason they're supposed to be sloped downwards is because they climb up the steep mountains. It stops all the water collecting to one side of the boiler. That's why they're slanted downwards. So next off, I've got Bertie the Bus. Before I show you that, though, there's one thing I wanted to show you. I rediscovered, well, I knew where it was anyway, but this book that I got from Wilco, a scrapbook, and inside it is a lot of collector's cards that come with the ERTL range and the last style of packaging they did. So I've got quite a few of them, most of the characters you can see here. Yeah, and I like them collector's cards. I liked all the animations that come on them. But next off, I've got Bertie the Bus. And again, I've got Bertie, but it's in a different style of packaging. In fact, I've got two models of Bertie, again, different styles of packaging. And I like the face on Bertie. It sort of reminds me of his face, again, in the TV series. And I do like the animation of Bertie. One thing I will say is, though, from what I remember, well, I've always known Bertie as a bright red bus. But this one is sort of like a dark red colour. And in the Railway series, he was sort of a dark red colour as well. And sometimes he had a yellow stripe along his side in some of the spin-off books. So all the artists drew him slightly differently. But I've always known him as a bright red bus, personally, and prefer him that way. And again, I like the sticker on the side of him with all the people inside him. His driver on the front as well. And again, it's quite rare to see Bertie in this style of packaging, and this one's actually in quite good condition as well. So quite pleased with that. And Bertie appeared in the CGI series as well. And he's in the show now, but he's got a lot more details. So, like, he's got a registration plate and a wing mirror as well. And the same happened to Bulgy the bus as well. He had a lot more details. Again, Bertie appeared originally in the CGI series with not all that detail, and I think I preferred him that way. And again, he was a bright red colour like he should be. And the same with Bulgy as well. When he first appeared in the CGI series for a short time, didn't have all the details, and I preferred them without all the details. And again, Bulgy was in the model series of the show without all them details as well. And I think the idea was maybe they're trying to make him look more like he did in the Railway series. And the same with Bertie, because his registration plate is CRD54. The initials are C. Reginald Dalby, who was one of the illustrators in the early books. And 54 being the year that Edward the Blue Engine book was released, 1954, which is the story that Bertie appeared in. The episode Bertie's Chase, which is a story that I quite liked, to be honest. On the back, a description card about when Bertie sort of first appeared and the great race they had with Thomas. Although that wasn't the first episode Bertie appeared in, he appeared in Thomas Tempest in Snow. Although he wasn't named, and he picked up the passengers while Terence rescued Thomas, who got stuck in the snow. So yeah, I like that model of Bertie. So really pleased to have that. And I often get people ask what my favourite character is. I do have favourite characters, but I think in the ERTL range, one of my favourite ones that they released would probably have to be the pump truck, because I think that was really detailed and I quite like the pump truck. It first appeared in Haunted Henry, and again it appeared in the CGI animated series as well. But yeah, no, I quite like the pump truck. But I like a lot of the engines in the ERTL range, don't get me wrong. But again, as I said before, I think the last sort of few characters that they released in 2004 were definitely the most detailed. And I got somebody asked me about the 2004 poster, and it was actually in a magazine, and it's actually the same size as the magazine pages, and you can see when you put it next to this one here, the real size of it. So yeah, I like collecting like the posters and that come with the ERTL as well. You know, they're really nice. Anyway, last off, I've got the crane, and again, like pretty much all the characters, I've got it out of the box as well. And I really used to enjoy playing with it. I mean, it's not got a face or anything, and it was a character that only really appeared in the background of episodes. Didn't have much of a role or anything. And I do like the animation that they've done as well. Although I would say that it looks a bit out of scale compared to the surroundings. You know, maybe it's just me. But I do think it looks nice still anyway, the detail on that. And there was actually a crane that appeared in the Railway series with a face of caterpillar tracks, but it was never given a name, and it was sent to repair the bridge on Thomas's branch line that closed down. And there's a description card on the back, and it mentions Diesel's accident when he pushed the China clay trucks into the sea. Although I don't actually remember this crane actually rescuing them trucks. I think it was a boat that rescued them. But again, like I said, this crane only really appeared in the background, wasn't really much of a character. And I like these sort of characters that are also brought out that didn't have faces and things like that, because you can just sort of put them anywhere on the layout, and they sort of add a lot of character to your layout as well. You know, and a lot of them, you know, if you didn't know any better, you wouldn't know they were Thomas, unless part of the opposite the packaging, you wouldn't know they were Thomas ones. But yeah, I do really like the crane. And I've got another style of packaging as well. The blue card, like I said, I wasn't as keen on the blue card style of packaging because I didn't think it really, you know, sort of did much really. Whereas, you know, these, and it also didn't have a description on the back about characters. The blue style packaging, as these ones do, got nice animations. Looks a lot better, obviously, from a collector's point of view if you want to keep it in the box. Another character that I got as well in this bundle, because like I said, I got them in a bundle. I've got the Sodor soft type truck, which again, as you've probably seen in other videos, I've got already. And as you can see in this photo here, I've got Bill as well in the blue card style packaging, but I never got Ben in that style of packaging. Never actually seen Ben in that style of packaging. Quite rare, but like I said, I'm not as fussed as getting them ones to go on show. I like to get certain ones. Like I said, I'm more happy just getting these engines, to be honest with you. But the soft side truck appeared in the background of episodes. Wasn't really much of a developed character, didn't have a face or anything, just appeared in the background. But again, one I quite liked. And when I go around to model shops and things like that and see second-hand items, I see quite a lot of this one around. The same with 16 as well. But again, 16 wasn't a very popular character. He was only in the Railway series. And as much as I like 16, although I do like his model, it doesn't entirely look like what he did like in the Railway series, because it doesn't have the black and yellow lining on his buffers. So that's my ERTL collection for the time being. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.